Hi, Deborah Roth welcoming you back to Spirited Musings. And this week, as we move past Labor Day and into the fall, although I know officially fall doesn't begin for a couple weeks with the equinox, but for me, and I think for a lot of people, we really are in that back to school, back to work mode this week. And it can be a little tricky. I often say this seasonal transition feels more transitional than some of the other ones that we go through. And I think it's because we have come from this really full, expansive energy of summer, kind of in a more mellow place. A lot of us have been on vacation or gotten away, and we're coming back to really focused. Okay, summer's over, what are we going to do to jumpstart our businesses? What do we need to do to get our kids ready for school again? What do we have to do with our gardens as we harvest the remainder of any flowers or vegetables that are there? Reactivating a job search that maybe we put on hold in the summer. So there's a lot of activity, I think, more so I would say than just about any other seasonal transition. And I think it's important to remember that there's that's been written about the whole psychology of transition. And I think we're this week we're also kind of making our transition out of the energy of play into the back to work, back to school mode. So it's important, I think, to keep in mind there are several different theories on how we move through transitions effectively and in a healthy way and in a supportive way. One of them was put forth through Bill Bridges, who wrote a wonderful book just called Transitions. It's sort of the classic of modern day transition psychology. And he talks about any time you come up to a big one, and I think this time of year we can feel that way, it's really important to acknowledge what it is that we're leaving behind, what it is that we're carrying with us, and what it is that's coming next, so that we can make sure that we let go of what needs to be let go of. I call that the release stage. And then retreat, move into a quiet place and figure out what our resources are that we always carry with us, whether we're in play mode or work mode. And then the sort of rebirth, how do we want to move forward in wonderful new ways? Maybe it is reactivating a job search. My older son started a new job at the Manhattan DA's office this week. So exciting. He's been in law school for the last 3 years, and this is his dream job. It really is so exciting. Just graduated in May, so I have a little bit of excitement there in our family. So what's coming up for you? What do you need to really acknowledge that needs to be embraced as something new that's flowing in? But also, I want you to take time this week to think about and be grateful. Write down what you're grateful for from this summer. What were all the areas that you played and just had a fabulous time, or maybe went within? Maybe it was deep play, as we talked about a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was play with little kids. Whatever your version of play was. And acknowledge that, celebrate it, declare how you're grateful for all the ways that summer energy manifested itself for you. And then, as we move back into the work mode, as we move into the energy of fall, really think for a moment about what it is that you want to be born again. How do you want to be born again? What projects do you want to bring to fruition that maybe you had on hold this summer? So play with that idea as we move from play mode to work mode, and as we really celebrate all that summer had to give us and how we want to take those gifts with us into the fall. Enjoy. I'd love to hear your stories, as always.